Now I'm going to show you how to do some texturing. You'll see that I have this some graphics that I'm using as a texture in here. Now in your project you could use clouds for your sky, you could use kind of mountain finishes. On the web page you'll see a link to some places that you can get textures for free and download them. I found these newspaper clippings through Google search, and I looked for fair use images that I would not need to purchase. So this is what my end result looks like, but I kept my prelims here so that you can see how I built it. All right, so let's look at that technique for pasting these things in here now. What you're going to notice is I have a hue and sat and a curve layer. I needed to do that because when I paste in this texture, it's going to lose its color that I put in there originally. I'll have to put the color back in. You'll see what I mean. So here's some news clippings. Here's one called Alien Invasion. What I do is I want to select that and copy it. I'll do a select all from that layer. Copy. Close it. Here's my person. I use that person to make a selection. And then I can do edit and paste special. Paste into. Automatically creates a mask for it and sticks it in there. I can free transform that. Maybe I want to get the UFO word in this leg. Might be kind of fun. And you see that as I rearrange it, it continues to mask it. Now let's do another one. Maybe this one. Edit. Select all. And I will copy. Turn it off. Don't need it anymore. Select my person. There we go. And once again, edit, paste special, paste into. And now I have another one in there. I can change the order of how they show up by just changing layer order. And once again, I can do a free transform on that. Maybe I want Alien Invasion, to be kind of scrolling down in here. That might be fun. Okay. And I can change the saturation of that. Maybe I want to get the color out so I can let the purple color that I put in later have the full effect without being tinted by the original color of that. And so I did 3 of these and kind of arranged them in order to get the look that I wanted. So that's the techniques. I'm going to turn off this preliminary layer. Turn my clippings back on. So this is the arrangement that I eventually made. It looks like I actually have 4 of them in here. Okay, and each one has its own layer. And like I said, you can select any one of these and move it around and just basically make a collage, each with its mask. All right, so you can see we lost the color, our purple color, because it just picked up the color of whatever these clippings were. One of the things I want to do before we pick up the color sometimes is go into these and go to image, adjust, hue and sat, and I can desat it like that. I can desat this one too, and maybe I have a little more consistent color that way. Now in order to get the color back, what I can do is if I select any one of these, if I click over here on the mask, I can load it. Select, load selection. Okay. And you can see it loaded it. Now I can go to, say, curves, and it will only affect that area. It actually puts that mask on that curve. Okay. And I can do the same thing again. I can click this one, click any of these, load selection. Okay, this time I think I'll do a even sat. I can colorize it, and I can get that purple color back. Something like that. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to show you another way to make a texture. I'm going to go for a halftone kind of overall texture to give it a little bit of a retro look. But I don't want that texture over the person because I want the person to pop out. So first thing I'm going to do, select one of these masks like we did before. I'm going to load that selection, except this time I'm going to invert it. So that will select everything except the person. Pretty cool little feature. Go way up to the top and make a layer. Okay, way above everything. And I'm going to fill that, edit fill, 50% gray. Now that might seem like an unusual choice, but let me show you what happens when you turn the color 50% gray on a layer to overlay mode. It becomes 100% invisible. That means any texture that I apply to this layer will just automatically be in overlay mode. Now the texture that I would like to apply is under Pixelate, and it's called Color Halftone. It went on another screen, but here it is. It looks like that. I think I'll roll with about a 10 radius. If you want a nice, cool looking dot pattern, you put all these at 45. I'm going to click OK. And there's my texture. It's a little much. So what I'm going to do is what I almost do with every texture overlay, whether it to be grass or some mountains or some clouds or some cityscape buildings. I'm going to go in here and under fade or under edit, I can fade it back, fade color halftone. You get a window like that, and this is great because I can now kind of slide this around and see just how much of this texture I would really like to have on there. I'm thinking probably, like everything else, I like to go a little too far, come back, kind of find what I think might be a nice sweet spot. Thinking right around 8% looks pretty good. And there, now I have a halftone texture over everything except for my person. Gives it just a little bit of a retro look. Nice little dot pattern. You can also get some interesting textures out of the Photoshop filter gallery. Let's say we go in here and try to apply that to one of these letters. I can go to the filter gallery, and they have all kinds of odd things. Maybe I want some splatter. Maybe I want this to look like it's got wet. Maybe I'll put some water stains on it and get that kind of a look, with the ink running. So I could click OK. And once again, if it's too much, which it seems like it usually is, I can fade that back and just make it look a little bit wet. Just a little bit runny ink from, getting some water spilled on it. So you can use as much or as little texture in your image as you would like. Make sure you save this textured file with a different name than your file with just color in it. The examples on the assignment website don't really show texture, except for mine. So it really is kind of an extra touch we're putting on this thing, but I would like you to play with it and have some fun and see what you come up with. I think that in a lot of cases, our images without the texture, with all the flat colors and a little bit of shading, usually work just fine as well. All right, then, this is Bill signing off.